Welcome to the Georgia Museum of Art and Morning Mindfulness. As you may well know, Morning Mindfulness happens every other Friday, and then every other Thursday is yoga in the gallery. So we hope that you will continue to be here with us. And my prayer today is by the way, the least important thing you'll hear, my name is Meghan Burke, and I'm the founding director of the Healing Arts Center and Sangha Yoga Studio. Not important. And my prayer today is to prepare your body, your mind, your senses for a meditative experience with the arts, with the beauty that surrounds me. So after our time together, please go to the amazing website that is the Georgia Museum of Art and drop into the gallery and be with all of this, with perhaps the fresh new perspective that we cultivate here together. And so thank you for the generosity of your time and attention. And so now I invite you to find your way into a comfortable seated posture, as comfortable as you can. And I will also say this, if you are absolutely sick and tired of sitting because you've been doing so much teleconferencing and whatnot, feel free to stand at any time. This practice is available either seated or standing, okay? And so feel your way into a comfortable seated or standing posture. And then close your eyes and begin to become the proprietor of your senses, drawing the eyes inward for a deep inner looking, drawing the ears inward for a sweet, tender inner listening, drawing the sense of touch to the interior. So we move into an awareness of a felt sense of our being. Noticing, how does it feel to be you? From deep within, right here, right now. Perhaps noticing any influences, whether it be the wheatgrass or the espresso, anything that might be contributing to your internal feeling tone, simply noticing that, making room for it all, without judgment, pure awareness, pure sensation. And as we become aware of the story of our bones, begin to feel your way into the length and the alignment of your spine. So as you find your way into your spine, ground down into whatever is beneath you. The soles of your feet, perhaps your sitting bones. Find the foundation beneath you. Root well into that. And then gently posting off of it, perhaps, to start climbing the spinal staircase. Just creating a little space between each of the vertebrae. A little space between the vertebra and the discs. We start to feel this gentle lifting of the hind skull and a softening of the shoulders. And maybe bringing the image of a golden thread extending out from the crown of the head, lifting, lengthening, tethering us to that which is above, while firmly rooted to the earth below. And this union of opposites helps to yoke the length of the spine, and we feel ourselves beginning to sit tall in the splendor of the integrity of our character. feeling perhaps the cheekbones over the collarbones, the ears over the shoulders, because there's a great tendency to lead with the frontal lobe. So we draw the frontal lobe towards the back of the skull, align ears and shoulders, and we find that perhaps by design, it's the heart that leads. It may take a little bit of courage, but see if you can allow that to be so. The heart is high, and we bring our awareness there, into the heart space. And we just settle in for a moment to put our finger on the pulse and notice, how does it feel from the place from which I love? How does it feel? And without judgment, once again, just noticing, how do you feel and how do you want to feel? And if the two are not the same, perhaps setting a little sankalpa, making a little vow to allow this practice to move us in the direction that we'd like to go, perhaps moving in the direction of an expansive heart. Or perhaps the heart is always expansive. We simply move into the awareness of the ever-expansive heart. And settled into the heart. A very close companion right there is the breath. So we bring the awareness now to the breath. And again, without participating, we simply notice whatever's so about the breath. Noticing if the body is preferring the inhalation or the exhalation. Noticing if the breath is at all choppy, staccato. This is a time in the language of Ayurveda of Vata. It's a time of the influence of the wind element, ether-based time. It's a little bit whirly, swirly. And this can stir anxiety. And so if you notice a little bit of choppiness on the breath, perhaps you're spot on, right? That's just your body responding to the season. And then beyond the season, there's this global experience that we're having that could perhaps be stoking the winds of anxiety. So no worries if it's there. Just notice, I'm human. And there's my nervous system responding to this humanness. And as best you can, just soften in and make room for whatever is so. And then I invite you to let your hands rest on your belly. Shoulders relaxed, the collarbones still in that nice wide smile from the ever-expansive heart. And your hands rest on your belly. And on an exhalation, you empty completely. You let go of every bit of the past. Exhale, exhale, exhale. The navel kisses the spine at the bottom of that deep exhalation. And on the inhalation, the belly swells out towards the wall in front of you. And you feel this in your hands. And exhale, the hands move towards the spine. Inhaling, let the belly swell like Pooh Bear just ate a big pot of honey. And exhale, let the hands come back towards the spine. And just keep your eyes closed so as not to be distracted. And feel this experience. Exhaling, the navel comes towards the spine. Inhaling, the belly swells open with life. And we continue doing this big belly breathing to clear out any stagnation, any worry, any anxiety from the belly, from the diaphragm. And we just try to feel through our hands, through our awareness, perhaps an improved quality of breath. It starts to smooth itself out a little bit. And we start to get a little more spacious in the gut. And perhaps through cultivating more space in our gut, we have more access to our felt sense of life, to our felt sense of any experience, and perhaps our felt sense when we take time to view the artwork, right? We feel life in our bellies. Why wouldn't we feel art in our bellies? We can, perhaps. We just need to open the portal. All right, with your next exhalation, let that go. Let your hands relax wherever they will. Pause and notice. Perhaps a clearing breath organically arrives. And at the bottom of that exhalation is a softening. And then once again, sit tall in the saddle, a hand on the belly and a hand on the low chest. And exhale completely, navel kisses the spine. And on the inhalation, the belly swells and the breath comes on up to the low chest as it expands. And then exhale from the chest down to the belly. Inhaling belly to mid-chest. Exhaling chest to belly. And see if you can evenly distribute that breath. Half as much in your belly, half as much in your chest. Empty from the chest and then the belly. Can you keep the heart high all the while, continuing to sit tall in the saddle as you slowly get hold of the reins of the breath? A gentle hold, so not introducing tension, only allowing the breath to be as deep as she organically will be without twitching any muscles in the face or anywhere else in your body. Okay? So the breath is the direct link between the body and the mind. So by getting a gentle hold on the reins of the breath, we're getting a gentle hold on the reins of the mind. And then we slowly begin to become the master of our domain, perhaps a little more so than usual. All right, last time. Fill the belly, low chest, mid-chest, and then empty from the chest, down to the belly. At the bottom of the exhalation, release the hands to the lap, pause, notice. Again, maybe that clearing breath comes along, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So gently utilizing the breath to clear distortion from the nervous system, from the mind. And then one last time, grounding down into Mama Earth beneath you, tethering to Papa Sky above you, sitting tall, a hand on the belly, and this time a hand on the upper chest, up near the collarbone, the top of the sternum. Shoulders relax. Exhale completely. Empty, empty, empty. Navel kisses the spine. Clean the slate. And then inhale, fill the belly, the low chest, the upper chest, all the way up into the collarbones. And exhale from upper chest to lower chest to navel. Stay as relaxed as you can while your diaphragm, your lungs, do all of this exploration. Soft tongue, soft jaw. And again, if you can, close the eyes. Trust what you feel. Explore it. Get curious. Mindful breathing. Filling from bottom to top and emptying from top to bottom. And if you're so inspired, you can engage what's known as the Ujjayi breath, where we gently bring in the back of the throat, the glottis. We slightly engage the glottis to regulate the flow of breath. So you start to hear the wind blowing through the trees and the sound of your breath. Or perhaps it sounds like the ocean. Or perhaps it's Darth Vader, right? So just utilizing Ujjayi so that we can really regulate the flow of prana for these last few rounds of the three-part breathing known as Dirgha Swasam. An incredibly powerful tool for slowing down the heart rate, slowing down the fluctuations of the mind, and bringing us a little closer to stillness and presence and awareness. And at the top of your next inhalation, inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold that breath for a moment. Sneak in a little bit more. Hold it. When you need to, inhale through the nostrils to exhale through the mouth. Top it off to empty. Release the hands with the breath. Exhale, exhale. Exaggerate that exhalation. Take it all the way to the shore. Exhale, let it dissolve and soften. Notice. Again, if that clearing breath shows up, allow it. And perhaps now, just through the use of Dirgha Swasam, you start to feel your body organically settling in. Everything starting to seek the lowest level. Even the mind has slowed its fluctuations. That's my prayer for you all. And then continuing to use this ancient wisdom of yoga, I'm going to invite the use of sound vibration to continue cultivating a sweet little garden within from which to sit and view the art when we're done. And so the use of sound is about making a joyful noise, and it's an ancient technique. And so we're going to share the sound of Om together, not to give it any meaning, but to utilize this sound to cultivate a sweet vibration within us. And no worries how it sounds. I really want you to let go of that. It's not a performance. And just feel what's happening within your skull as you shake the foundation and rattle the cobwebs. And if you want to imbibe the sound of Om with whatever you want it to mean, however you can make it your medicine to clean the etch-a-sketch of the mind, to clear the history of our senses, to open the portals into a fresh new perspective. So Om is sometimes AUM, sometimes OM. We're just going to keep it simple today. We're going to do the OM, Om. And so roughly equal parts O and M. And so I can't hear you. And the people that are there with you love you. So no worries about it. Let your freak flag fly. Okay, keep it real. So nice big exhalation. Empty, 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 empty. A big inhalation into the belly to gather your raw material. Let this happen beyond thought. then I want to do two more of just the part of Om, like life is juicy right now, like something tastes good, right? So just really allow yourself to have that experience that is organically And as we do, play with the shape of your mouth and see if you can dome it and create some new acoustics within you. And you may also play with taking the tip of your tongue around the roof of your mouth as if you were dowsing to find lines of energy. And see, like, there's usually a nice little spot that you can hit in the dome of the roof of the mouth that gives a pretty cool feeling in the skull, right? So just get curious. Let's all be kindergartners for a second and play with what sound we can make in the dome of our mouth and the tip of our tongue. Why not, right? Okay, sit tall. Take off your skull cap. Don't think. We're not here to think. Exhale. Inhale. Let it be whatever pitch rocks your world, okay? Relax. Pause. Soften and notice. Perhaps you just cultivated deeper access to stillness and silence. And then from the ears and sound, we move to the eyes. And so, once again, sitting tall or standing if you need to. Shoulders down, heart high. Chin, please forgive, we're all practicing. There's only 2 of us in this building, which is insane. And Sage and I are being very safe with our masks, but we're quite far apart right now. So I've taken my mask off to be a little bit more intimate with you. Please forgive if it's in the way ever. And it's what we do in the name of love right now, to let people know I compassionately care about you all. And so here I am being responsible on all of our behalf. This is what love looks like, yeah? So sitting tall, and chin is parallel to the floor. So the hind skull is still gently lifting, right? And in the language of yoga, we think of like the hind skull lifting like the hood of a cobra, gently coming up and over to shield the busyness of the solar brain, the planning and strategizing brain. So we want to bring the shield up and over to quiet the mind. Yeah. And then with the eyes on the horizon, you just take your gaze straight up to 12 o'clock. And then you take your gaze straight through a line down to 6 o'clock. Go down deep into the earth and then follow that straight line up into the sky, up to the hairline, and then straight down to the earth. One more time, straight up to the sky, nice big stretch, and then down deep into the earth, as if looking at your own cheeks. And then back to center. Close your eyes, deep breath into the eye sockets, deeper breath out. Eyes blink open. And then, once again, as if coming across the horizon, bring the eyes over to 3 o'clock, coming as far towards 3 o'clock as you're able, and then coming straight across the horizon to 9 o'clock. Try not to let the eyes dip or rise. And we continue moving east to west. Soft tongue, soft jaw, relax your face. And see if you can move very slowly from east to west. Very slowly. And just notice what happens. One last time. Following that straight line slowly across to the east. Nice big stretch off the east coast. And then coming slowly through center. And letting the eyes dive off the west coast. And coming back to the center. Close your eyes. Clear the eye sockets with your breath. Take a moment to soften. The eyes are an extension of the brain via the optic nerve. And if you've spent a lot of time, a lot of screen time lately, there could be a good bit of distortion in the eyes. It's so important that we do what we need to tend to their health and well-being. And then the eyes blink open. And lastly, we come into Netra Vyayamam, the eye circles. My eyes are cheaters, so I use a thumb as a pace car. I use one thumb up as a pace car, and I use the second hand to steady my head. My head wants to cheat. It wants to move with my eyes. My eyes want to be all over the place. So feel free to use these supports if you need them. Keeping your head steady, look up at 12 o'clock. Come all the way up to 12 o'clock. Shoulders relaxed if you're using your thumb as a pace car. And then we slowly begin coming around clockwise. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Very slowly tracing the second hand of the clock. And it's kind of ridiculously slow initially to establish the integrity of the circle. And just noticing what's so. You find the outermost edge of the periphery to give you a nice stretch, but please don't ever strain. Don't ever introduce tension when doing yoga, because whatever it is you're doing might no longer be yoga, right? So the first couple of rounds, like wowza kabowza Batman, those eyes are really missing the stretch, and that's available to them when we don't do this daily. And it's believed that this can improve your vision if done daily. And then after you've done a couple rounds very slowly, then you just allow a few rounds with a little bit more pace to encourage the fluidity of the circle. Perhaps encouraging the fluidity of our ability to see things with a little bit looser grip, all right? Seeing a little bit more fluidity in the way we view the world and each other. Next time you reach 12 o'clock, center, close, release your hands to your lap, and breathe into your eye sockets. Gather up any mischief. Escort it out with a deep exhalation. Feel the eyeballs relaxing in their sockets. The eyelids, the space between the eyes, perhaps the space between the ears. And then coming back into the awareness of the length and alignment of your spine. The eyes blink open. And if you need a pace car, we come back up to 12 o'clock. If you need some steadiness, the second hand comes in to hold the head steady. And we start coming around anti-clockwise. 11, 10, 9, 8. And continue on, keeping that head nice and steady and moving very slowly so as not to speed up the stingy hands of time. soft tongue, soft jaw, soft shoulders. And be patient. This is one of the #1 prescribed medications, so to speak, in the Yoga Asana book for ADD. So if your mind is saying, this is ridiculous, this isn't yoga, whatever that rubbish is, I'm not doing it, I'm not slowing down, perfect, this is your medicine. Have a seat. Yeah, there can be great resistance from the mind in doing this. But the mind is not the master of our domain, so we dismiss its nonsense and sit down and do our work. All right, last few rounds of just cultivating some ease, some fluidity, right? Smoothing out where the eyes want to ratchet or skip. And when you next reach 12 o'clock, center, close, and clear the sockets with your breath. Move prana. Lean into that exhale. Pause. Notice. Sometimes I even imagine that I feel a softening in the sinus cavities just by relaxing the eyes, the face. What do you feel? And isn't it kind of yummy? All right. And then the eyes blink open. And we're down the home stretch. And the eyes and the neck are simultaneously innervated. So when we get distortion, congestion, traffic in the eyes, it shows up in the neck and vice versa. And so we want to do a last little bit of clearing of that. So shoulders back and down, drawing the chin deep into the notch of the throat. Lifting the hind skull towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades drop into your back pockets, right? So your hands slide up close to your trunk, your elbows in close to your body, shoulder blades, elbows in your back pockets. As your collarbones slide away from the midline, your shoulder blades hug the spine, chin deep into the notch of the throat, and we gently start to move the head side to side as if tracing the smile of our collarbones with our chin. Stay soft in the tongue and the jaw, beloveds. Soft in the eyes. So it's not a tension relocation program. We're just dissolving and softening whatever knots we find. And then steady the chin in the center of the chest. Take a clearing breath. And on an inhalation, left ear to left shoulder. And then just take a moment to perhaps feel with your hands an external confirmation, are my ears stacked? Shoulders back and down, and then when you've got your head hanging loosely off the vine of your neck, body is steady, trunk is steady, stability in the thoracic and lumbar spine as we gently nod yes and explore the mobility of our cervical spine. And just open up the prana panel of the side neck. Right. Just gently moving in whatever way the head wants to feel our way into the tautness and loosen the grip. Explore the range with a healthy curiosity. And then chin to chest, face cast downward, pause for a clearing breath. And then second side, we roll right ear to right shoulder, stack those ears, and let the ears be over the shoulders. So the head is in line with the rest of the spine. It's not hanging forward, right? Head in line with the rest of the spine. And then we gently take our sideways yes over here. And I've always thought there's a country song in that waiting to happen, a sideways yes. And just explore what that movement is that really allows you to get into the juice. Practicing is our own best friend, personalizing our practice. And then chin to chest, face cast downward. Pause for your clearing breath. And then very slowly rolling up your cervical spine vertebra by vertebra, stacking them directly one on top of the other until the chin comes parallel to the floor. As the chin comes parallel to the floor, keeping your chin parallel to the floor, shoulders back and down, begin looking out over your left shoulder. And as you look as far as you comfortably can over your left shoulder, nod yes. And just explore how that feels. Just giving a nice little squeeze into the lateral neck, a gentle caress. And then if your neck allows, look up. Stay looking over the shoulder. Look up, 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 up. Follow a rainbow up over the sky to second side. And now you're looking out over your right shoulder and nod yes. Stay within your range of comfort, all right? Nodding several times here. Shoulder blades still anchored to the spine. And then if you have permission, you come up and over, back to first side. Up and over to second side. Last little bit of practicing for following the rainbows in the sky. Oh, we must take time to look for and follow the rainbows. And then the next time you end up looking over your right shoulder, bring your head back to center. Close your eyes. Take a clearing breath. And then lastly, hands on the breastplate. One hand on top of the other. Press in and pull down on your sternum. Let it be the south end of the stretch. And then we start to take our gaze back up to the sky. Find the end of the road in your range of comfort. And then arc a little rainbow in the sky up above you, as if you were tracing it with your own nose. Then feel this opening up the neck cuff from jawline to collarbones, giving a nice stretch to the thyroid, the thymus, opening up the throat chakra, our avenue of expression. Steady that movement, chin parallel to the floor, hands to the lap. Deep breath in, deeper breath out. Just pause with the eyes closed. And once again, we turn the senses inward and notice, how does it feel to be you? Right here, right now. What is the feeling tone in the heart space? And I offer a mighty prayer that perhaps you're now a little bit more open, a little more receptive in all ways to receive the art. And so I encourage you to go to the Georgia Museum of Art's website, which is phenomenal, and take this time to bring your meditation to the art and the art to your meditation, and have an interactive experience within the space that you've cultivated within yourselves. And if ever you would like to do a little bit more yoga with me or any of the instructors at Sangha Yoga Studio, please go to Sangha Yoga Studio's YouTube channel. So we are on YouTube. We have over 60 videos available, Sangha Yoga Studio, and they're free and available for you at any time. So we want you to continue to lean into your practice and stay safe and healthy in every possible way. All right. We love you, Athens. Namaste.